race oil. Good even start between Schutz and Costa. They race side by side down the back straightaway. Opening night feature winner Ryan Hunsinger in the third position, looking for racing room as they charge out of turn number 4. Schutz slides up the racetrack. That opens the door for Hunsinger around the bottom. He picks off Costa. Now he'll work on the race leader and drive it deep into turn number 3. Ryan Hunsinger, the new race leader.
Ryan Hunsinger, sorry Adam, grabs the lead and is checking out here at the halfway mark. 3 in, 3 to go in the 6-lap qualifying heats. This first one again brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. Alex Schutz, Jesse Costa, and Mac the Man. They're really going at it. Here comes Mac the Man on the bottom side.
Fantastic battle for second as Demand working the bottom of the racetrack on Schutz. I can't believe some of the lettering jobs on these great sprint cars. Beautifully prepared race machines.
Some of them had some work to do between week 1 and week 2, and still they look sharp. White flag in the air for the gunslinger.
Ryan Hunsinger down into turn number 3, nearly a full straightaway lead as he brings it off of turn number 4. Checkered flag flies. Hunsinger will take the win. Mac the Man gonna finish in second. Schutz and then Costa with Hannah Farrell rounding out the top 5. Good clean heat race number 1 for the Strickland's Crate Sprints. Heat 2 brought to you by Klotz Automotive. Here's how they'll line up. Coming out in the pole position, driving car number 18 from St. Agatha. In the Cal's Tire number 18, it's Josh Shantz. Outside of him in the Burger Barn, number 55 from Caledonia, Mike Thorne going to line up on the outside of
Flag coming up in the air. Kyle McKenzie will throw the rag, and we are underway with Mike Thorne leading them down into corner number 1 with Josh Shantz right there in the second spot. Holly Porter running in third.
Mike Thorne with a great start in that Burger Barn number 55. Josh Shantz driving it a little deeper into 3, using a higher line. It's a longer way around.
Lap on the board. Mikey Bobby, Mike Thorne at the top of this one with Josh Shantz right there in that second spot. Driver that's got a couple of wins in his career in the crate sprints, and here he comes, powers around the outside and grabs the lead.
Nice move by Josh Shantz. He ran a low line, but really found a smooth line around the racetrack where the car didn't get upset at all. I don't think he's going to pull away much from Mike Thorne. As I say that, he pulls away from Mike Thorne.
Cross flags in the air, 3 in, 3 to go for Josh Shantz, who's beginning now to stretch that advantage over Mikey Bobby, Mike Thorne, and Holly Porter now works to the inside of Thorne, looking for that runner-up spot. Wow. Almost for the leader off of 4, and they both have to go around him. Wow.
Nice job by Holly Porter and Mike Thorne to avoid the 18 of Josh Shantz as he will take it down to the inside racetrack. And they are side by side. They didn't miss a beat in their battle.
White flag goes in the air. Holly Porter leading the way over Mike Thorne down into corner number 1 as Josh Shantz comes to rest in the infield, heartbroken.
One more time through 3 and 4, and Holly Porter will see checkered flag in the air. She's going to take the win. Mike Thorne will come home second, finishing third in the 49 is Jerry Hill. Fourth to Aaron Turkey. So Holly Porter of the INS Crafts and Supplies Ohsweken Speedway, Tommy's Motors sponsored number 1.
Green flag up in the air, and they go 3 wide down into corner number 1 with Sean Evans leading the way. In that Ackland Insurance 87X, Jesse McDonald hanging there in second. Here comes Connor Mahoney, hot off a heat win last week.
Connor Mahoney admitting, yeah, the cards are a little bit slower, but it's right in his budget wheelhouse. And who wouldn't give up just a little bit of speed, Greg, to be more competitive in the field in which they're running, as we've got a spinner in turn 2, kept it rolling.
Nice job by Matt Hill, keeps the car rolling as we stay green. With Sean Evans out in front, the 87X, Jesse McDonald in second. Connor Mahoney right now holding down the third spot, but feeling some heat from Josh Hansen.
Josh Hansen applying the pressure. Trevor Young right behind him. A good 3-car battle for that third spot.
No trouble for Matt Hill down the backstretch. He slapped the backstretch wall, keeps the car rolling as the leader comes across the stripe. It's 2 laps to go, and Hill will take the car. Oh, I thought he's going to go in the infield.
Yeah, does the wise thing. Takes it off the racetrack. Things not quite the way they need to be for him at the moment. Live to fight again another day, Greg.
Absolutely. White flag. Into corner number 1 goes Sean Evans, your leader, and he is controlling this one. Problems at 2, skates up into the wall, hits hard, flips over. Sean Evans, the leader. Wow, that looked like he broke something going into 2, because that just did not look right.
Hard hit. And roll over. We can see that the wing took a good bit of the impact. That's always a good thing.
Halfway through corner number 2, that car, you can see it just kind of pitched to the right as though something broke. I don't know as though it did, or maybe caught a rut. And the car just started skating hard up into corner number 2, slapped the wall.
Didn't do nothing about it. Well, the announcers were saying the same thing. They looked like it just went away from you. Went straight up the track. I couldn't do anything with it. The main thing is you're okay? Yeah, I'm good. All right, he's all right, ladies and gentlemen. How about a hand for Sean Evans? My mom come out for the first time, and I didn't want to wreck, but I did. I apologize. Well, you know what, Mom? You got the perfect car introduction, because this happens a lot. Sean, you're all right, and your boy's good. Car's a bit broken, and the ego a little bit too, but Sean Evans, we'll live to race another day, guys. And, you know, he did say he thought the right rear might have been flat. It is flat here as they tow it away. Not sure if that was a product of the accident. It looks like it is, though, but never know, guys. Could have been a flat tire, and Dustin, one of our medics down here, remarked how slick it is through the middle. And a lot of these rookies are slipping up. Now, Sean's been with us a couple years, but still a tricky track for them to work with here in turn 2, guys. And quickly, while we're talking about crate sprints, remember we talked about last week, Jesse Costa was headed for the work area. It's so easy to overlook things when we're getting a cursory look. He took it back to the pits, and we found a cracked frame, so we're actually surprised to see Jesse back here tonight. He broke his frame last week, and back here in the 52, Sean Evans taking long ride back, and looks like we're ready to push off again, guys.
Racing a sprint car.
He absolutely is, and that was the fun part about Jesse. It was like he had to pinch himself every week last year. And even still as a champ, it's you would expect a little ego from it, but there certainly is not. He's like a kid in a candy store.
And he was one, Jesse is so young, but he said, I heard you announcing last week, Adam, it was just like I was a kid again. It's been 10 years, he's still a kid. He's a kid now, but he was really a kid then.
Green and white go up in the air. One more trip around. Can Jesse McDonald hold off Connor Mahoney, or can Mahoney get his second heat win in 2 starts?
Jesse McDonald looking smooth, works up the middle of the racetrack and then up to the outside wall down the backstretch. Mahoney going to run the extreme inside through 3 and 4, but it's Jesse McDonald, and then Mahoney, and then Hansen rounding out the top 3.
Trevor Young finishes 4th, Jacob Dykstra 5th, Cody Dade 6th, and then, of course, Sean Evans and Matt Hill with DNFs. So that concludes the qualifiers for the Strickland GMC Crate Sprint Car Division. And that third and final qualifying heat was brought to you by Creative Edge Signs and Graphics.
We were talking about the folks from APC, and they love their racing. Great supporters of motorsports in Ontario, but if this is their first outing at a dirt track event, I hope they're having a great time wherever they've decided. Inside that race car, feeling like $1 million. The pressure is on him now to back up what his crew did for him earlier tonight.
And another cool storyline to watch, of course, we documented it already. Jesse Costa in that 52 looked like part of his season was going to be a miss. They scrambled, got that car back together after a night 1 crash, and he's a threat. Won a heat race in opening night. he could be one to watch as well. But again, a lot of the veterans still at the front. Mac DeMan's always tough to beat. Jesse McDonald, the point leader. Ryan Hunsinger back there in the 5th spot. It's anybody's race here tonight, and that's what makes this division oh so good.
Looking at this starting lineup, how far back through the field do you have to go, Greg, before you find a car that you don't think could win tonight?
I'm afraid to make that prediction.
I'm already out of the top 10.
Yeah, oh, easily. Easily. I mean, you can go back as far as Hannah Farrell. I think Jacob Dykstra obviously's got a chance. Man, oh man. It's going to be interesting. You got some rookies at the very back, but who knows who's going to win it? We'll find out in 20 laps. That's why we run the races. Green flags in the hand of Kyle McKenzie, and we are underway.
Jerry Hill and Holly Porter put the hammer down into turn number 1. We're underway with the Strickland's Crate Sprint Car Division.
Already 3 wide through corner 2, and Mac DeMan makes quick work of Holly Porter. Now to the outside of Jerry Hill to put Mac DeMan to the top of the pile. He'll lead lap number 1.
Everybody getting sorted out, slicing and dicing through traffic. And what traffic there is. 3 wide through 1 and 2 throughout this field of race cars. But out in front, one car has found the groove they wanted. Mac DeMan has opened up a sizable lead.
Mac DeMan, your leader. Jerry Hill sitting there in 2nd. Jesse McDonald running in the 3rd spot. Holly Porter and Ryan Hunsinger duking it out right now for 4th and 5th.
Hunsinger rode that inside groove to victory on opening night. Looks like he'd like to do it again, but Holly Porter not leaving the door open.
Mac DeMan checking out.
Watching Sean Evans as we got one around in turn number 2. I believe that's the Schutz machine.
So the caution flies for Lofton Schutz, who loops it around in corner number 2. 4 on the board, 16 left to go in this one, with Mac DeMan checking out from the drop of the green flag. Jesse McDonald right now sitting in that 2nd spot. Jerry Hill running in 3rd.
By with Mac DeMan leading the way over the 88 of Jesse McDonald, the 49H of Jerry Hill, the 1 of Holly Porter, the 43 Ryan Hunsinger, 6 through 10th, the 5C is Connor Mahoney, 55 Mike Thorne, the 88 of Josh Hansen, the 68 of Aaron Turkey, and the 3 of Alex Schutz.
Single file past the yellow restart cone on the front stretch. Mac DeMan, Jesse McDonald, Jerry Hill will bring them back to life. We are back underway. Mac DeMan had the most wins in 2016, but wasn't here for every race. Had motor problems early in the season that cost him a potential championship, and he's flexing the muscle he had last year early on in this one.
Talk about flexing a muscle. Ryan Hunsinger just drove that car down the inside. Got around Holly Porter and Jerry Hill. Now making the move on Jesse McDonald within the 88, but McDonald able to fight back on the high side as we've got 2 around in turn number 1.
Eric McGlone and Trevor Young, Lofton Schutz will gather it up and stay rolling. So we get another lap on the board, and that was an interesting lap, Adam. We've got Eric McGlone and Trevor Young spun up between corners 1 and 2, but the move by Ryan Hunsinger to get by Holly Porter and Jerry Hill was impressive to say the very least.
The way he drove down into the corner, it doesn't make sense that the car stuck and turned.
Reaction time is so minute in these cars, whether it be the crates or the 360s. If someone spins in front of you, your reaction time is literally split second, and whatever you decided on in that very moment, that's what you're committed to.
And it affects everybody within about 10 feet of you, or further if you're looking behind.
Absolutely, and it's so easy to spin these cars as well because there being so much stagger built into these things that they just want to automatically turn to the left. And you start slowing up, and it wants to turn. And a nice job by both drivers to keep their cars going. Mac DeMan gets back on the front pedal, and we are underway with 15 laps left to go.
Green flag out. Hunsinger made another move, but lost some momentum. He slid the car up the racetrack, lost a bit of his forward bite, but he's going to drive it deep again down into 3 and 4.
Off of corner 4, McDemand leads the way. It's the battle for second now that's shaping up to be the best. Jesse McDonald and the gunslinger Ryan Hunsinger, who will move by McDonald into the second spot and set his sights on the leader, McDemand.
Watching Sean Evans use the outside of the racetrack past a car that lap. He is running a line that almost nobody else on the track is running, and he's passing a car a lap or more, working his way through this field.
He's one of the fastest cars on the track right now in the 16-second bracket, as Alex Schutz will take his car to the pit area, but he's working that outside line to perfection. He's worked his way up to 9th already.
And the big advantage he's got is nobody else is racing where he's racing. We've got a pass for the lead. Ryan Hunsinger drives under McDemand, takes over the top spot.
Man, that came all of a sudden. We were keeping our eyes. The yellow flag will now fly for DJ Christie. DJ Christie will loop the 5 around in corner number 2 to bring up the caution with 11 laps left to go. Quentin?
I just want to talk about young Joshua Hansen here in the JNE 88. He made the redraw, guys, but because you're a rookie in sprint cars, you have to go tail for the first 3 weeks. So Hansen had to start at the back. Look at how far this youngster, only about 15 years old, working his way up here into about 7th from the tail, guys.
Yeah, he is running 7th, doing very well. He himself has a lap in the 16-second bracket, so doing very well in the 88.
You know, he used to dominate the flat carts at Merrittville, multi-time champion in multiple divisions, I believe. Last year, he had a car the whole summer, Greg. Didn't turn 14 till September. Got to practice at Nationals practice, and he was ready to race on the Saturday, but his mom said, no, you got to finish hockey. So you don't get to race till next year. So he has sat with the bit in his mouth all winter ready to go. 15 years old with a potent race car ready to go. Back to you guys.
Well, Hunsinger restarts this one as your new leader over McDemand, two of the most dominant drivers this division has seen since its inception, and we will see who will win it with 11 laps left to settle it.
Hunsinger gets on the loud pedal, brings him across the start-finish line with McDemand right in tow. Hunsinger to the bottom, Demand to the middle, Sean Evans deeper in the field, way to the outside.
Man, oh man, he is on a rail right now. He's now put himself into the 7th spot. He's working around 2 or 3 more cars. Evans with a head of steam. He had to back out of it there for a second.
He absolutely did. As we've reached the halfway point of this crate feature, he backed out for a second and then passed 2 cars in 1 and 2.
Man, he's got to feel like Superman out there right now on that top line. He's 1 spot away from the top 5, and he's charging up to the rear end of the 1 of Holly Porter.
Ryan Hunsinger leads the way. McDemand keeping him within his sights. Demand about 3 car lengths back of the leader. Here goes Sean Evans looking to the outside of Holly Porter for 5th.
Good battle right now for the 3rd spot, too. Jesse McDonald and Mike Thorne going at it in the 88 and 55, but our attention turns right back to the 1 on the 87X. Sean Evans trying to get a run. He'll dive down to the inside and get a great run down the backstretch to get into the top 5.
Clears her down into turn number 3, immediately works his way back towards the top of the racetrack. Porter drives back to the bottom, but I believe Sean Evans is going to be tough to retake that spot for him, because we've got one way off the track in turn number 1.
Teammate Jerry Hill gets up into the brambles there in corners 1 and 2 as the battle continues for that 5th spot as we watch that. Meanwhile, at the front, Ryan Hunsinger leads over McDemand by about 6 car lengths. Then it's Jesse McDonald 3rd, 4th Mike Thorne, 5th Holly Porter, and there is Sean Evans still in 6th.
Sean Evans has lost that spot to Holly Porter, but he won't be giving up anytime soon. Mike Thorne with a good run, running in that 3rd position, just ahead of the 88 of Jesse McDonald.
Leader right now in some heavy lap traffic on the bottom lane, especially McDemand gaining some ground now on the leader. The difference closes by a half a second. In fact, it was 0.8 of a second the gap closed. Ryan Hunsinger stuck in the bottom trying to get by Trevor Young, and he'll shoot by, making it 3-4 wide through the corner.
McDemand way to the outside, looking to go anywhere the other cars are not. He passed the two lap cars, put himself in harm's way, but now he has the opportunity to do it once again. Is Ryan Hunsinger closing in on slower traffic, racing too wide? Oh, and Hunsinger has boxed himself in.
Here comes McDeman working the outside line. He got boxed in behind Jacob Dykstra. That keeps him from grabbing the lead. But 2 laps to go, it's far from over.
2 laps remaining, and the outside groove is just treacherous. One more lap car between Ryan Hunsinger and victory. McDeman just had to check up the brakes in turn 4.
Hunsinger goes a little bit higher this time in corner number 1. McDeman is right there. Has he got anything left for him? Final set of corners for Hunsinger and DeMan.
And DeMan has to go to the outside to try to make it work. Hunsinger drifts up off the bottom. He'll take the win. DeMan finishes second. Coming home in third, it's Jesse McDonald with a last lap pass over Mike Thorne. Sean Evans will not finish in the top 5, but I guarantee he's going to remember this night.
One race remains. The HRW Automotive Mini Stocks getting set for their 15-lap feature as Adam Ross heads down to Lucas Oil Victory Lane to talk to the gunslinger Ryan Hunsinger along with McDeman and Jesse McDonald.
The gunslinger Ryan Hunsinger getting unstrapped here in the race car. 2 for 2 in 2017. He can hear you now, race fans. How about a big round of applause for Ryan Hunsinger? Ryan, I don't want to poke too much fun. Step around from the back car, but did you get stuck getting out of your own race car?
No, I was good. Why would you even think that?
It was just a dramatic pause before you came. 2 for 2. You've been around this sport so darn long, but your bad luck streak there for a while seemed like it was never going to end, and now you've opened this year with a couple of wins. Talk about that race.
That was a blast. That was the track really slicked up. It was a lot of experience, a lot of gas pedal, a lot of brake, and just being ginger on the pedal. And it was fun racing with Mac. I love racing with these guys up front. They're clean, and try my best to be aggressive, and I'll try to race guys clean, and it's fun racing with guys like that.
Anybody thank for this win, Ryan?
Chris Pomeroy is, like I said last week, a new crew guy. He came over to Victory Lane this week. Jeff Durden, my car owner, my wife Lisa. My mom told me that I swore last week in Victory Lane, which I didn't know, so I promised I wouldn't swear if I won again. And Transport Sales and Service in Caledonia, Saratoga Homes, Hunsinger Plumbing, which is my family's company, Bicknell Racing Products, Leaf Racewear. Tons of people help us, so thanks to everybody.
There you go. Big round of applause for Ryan Hunsinger. He's going to get some pictures there in Victory Lane, and we're going to talk to the runner-up. It looked like you had a chance too, Mac. The lap traffic that you guys came up on and your decision process.
Yeah, I started on top, but as you know, in dirt racing, the track starts to change, and I didn't go to the bottom until Ryan got by me, and I just had to tighten the car up a bit, try the middle, try the top, and then we got into the lap traffic, and I knew Ryan wasn't going to leave that bottom, so started sailing the high line again, started gaining on him, and I think a couple more laps would have got real exciting, but that was a great race, a lot of fun. Hope we put on a good show.
Who do you want to thank for second place there, Mac?
My team, the Bar family, Bar Motorsports here, they do everything. They prepare the car. They just tell me to show up with my helmet and have a lot of fun. And that's what we're doing. Oakwood Transport, Fast Track Performance, Lucas Oil, everybody that supports this team, and of course the fans. Thank you guys.
Mac DeMann with a solid second place finish tonight. Third place, Jesse McDonald. I think you got everything out of the car you were going to get tonight. Just a little bit shorter where the cars in front of you were. What do you got to change for next week to climb this podium?
Well, our carburetor's not running right, and it keeps stumbling and falling on its face. But, I mean, being up here on the podium, that's a win in my books. These guys are, you know, awesome to race with, and, you know, they're good. So if I can be up here every week, you know, we're doing something right.
Consistency kind of won you a championship last year, so like you say, you got to feel pretty good about this run. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, it feels great, you know, just trying to be consistent, you know, hit our marks every week, and, you know, try to podium, and makes a big difference at the end of the year. But I want to thank Shawinigan Speedway. I got to thank Renway, Glenn Styres, the car owner, Steve Moulton, Dylan Westbrook, Brad Heron, Fred Book, everybody that's helped. You know, couldn't done it without them. It was a team effort.
There you go. Jesse McDonald rounds out the podium tonight. A solid third place run for the driver from California. Back to you, Greg.